Previously on Saving Throw. Our heroes battled off a mysterious group called the Shatterers, and Wynn did this again.
I think it's time to pack this up, and I'm gonna pack a wolf.
Yeah!
Oh my. Now Chris remembers why he knocked out Wynn first.
Meanwhile, Chiron managed to save Darmay from her wounds.
And with a one more pull, the thing pops free, and you and Darmay are both blasted by her own magic. And the crystal falls to the floor and bounces with a loud, heavy dum dum dum. And then Ice is back with a brand new addition. Roll initiative again.
But outside,
you are all left here in the wreckage of the Ondal estate, the wreckage of the dining room, with the upper rung of the city burning in the background.
And now we pick up the pieces in Saving Throw beneath the mask.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Saving Throw, the only D&D podcast that's never had a scheduling problem, not even once. I'm Chris, I'll be your Dungeon Master, and I will make it into the Forbes 30 Under 30 this year, or else.
Called shot.
I'm joined by our party, which includes Zach playing Alistair Nobledrifter.
Rip it, baby.
Oh, cracking open a fucking cold one. Elise has Win the Turtle, hashtag stay winning.
How's it going?
Prij playing Ashbal Remnants.
Ash playing Prij.
Prij Remnants.
Prij.
David has John from Many Shields.
Hello.
And we have Jason playing Chiron Hemlock.
Bridge, brah. Crip it and lip it, because hello, I'm going to be in Forbes 30 at the end of this
Did you
one.
say clip it and lip it? That's disgusting to me for some reason. Just the idea of lip it, I hate.
It's the new sequel to Pop It.
Bop it.
You have to
lip
kiss
it.
it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You can watch the show for some reason. Recorded live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SaveDidnTeam, or catch the edited version on YouTube and all podcast platforms. And if you want to support us, the absolute best way is our Patreon, which gets you access to all kinds of rewards across all of our shows, including being an NPC in this very show, and you can even be included in this Patreon song.
Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all our Patreons! Burger Bun, Mr. Cola Bun, and a Cosmo, Dave Hall, Lucha, and Sofino. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all our Patreons! Burger Bun, Mr. Cola Bun, and a Cosmo, Dave Hall, Lucha, and Sofino. HSM, Earnless, Taco Sensei, and Lister Logan 01, JFJ. Witch Tower, Kevin, Asian, Selfaria, Archie, Forensic, Nicole, Elvira, Mystic, Woody. Leprechaun, Jacobel, Crimson, Chrissy, Shebber, Steam, Ryger, Rilla, Jolie, Soul Mistress, BBC, What, and Sherlock, Mr. Mochasil, Art, Ami, Borshak, Amelia, Super Cool, Fluff, Panic, Benjamin, Mari, Diego Garcia, Mega Zero, and Boomer Emily. Plethora of penguins and Who Needs a Sleep, Alea, Yakta, Estever, Entropy, Shadowed Navi Quill, and Maho Stars, the driver, 458, Tasty Marbar. Jack Warner, Raz, Red Crest, Chromatin, Chosen, Tin, Mickey, Anime, Chicken, JC, Foxington. Dessert Boy Man, Elijah Slime, Rick, Rats, Katcha, Traveling in a Box, and Snowcat, Conjuring, Scribes, Yo Croissant, Fulfilla, Written Word, Birthday Punisher, Sibylla. Yuckout, Gwendolyn, Martin, Shadow Navi, Joseph, Shola, the Jester, and Reed Mercury. Thank 'em, gotta thank 'em all our Patreons.
Now, it has both been a while, and last we left off, a lot fucking happened. So, I'm gonna bring us back in bit by bit, starting with Chiron Hemlock, who currently sits knelt over the unconscious body of Darmay Ondal, his mask discarded to his side, and in his hands, a crystal. A strange and twisted looking crystal, brimming with some manner of magic something inside. Almost like liquid sloshing around in a container, it moves as you move the crystal in your hands, tossing and falling around inside the crystal. Chiron, just a few minutes ago, you had extracted this crystal from the side of Darmay after it was planted there by another masked figure, not you. A Shatterer, someone named Selfaria. who, in the most literal sense, crashed the party and attacked not only you, but innocent people. Partygoers who were unable to defend themselves. This same Selfaria disarmed you, Alistair. And I say this as you collect your guitar from the ground and look over the wreckage of the dining room that not an hour ago was the site of music and food and drink and loudly narrated stories, and now looks like the site of a war, like a bombshell had hit it. The dining room table shattered when Junver, you and one of the Shatterers fought, and you lifted the man, self-named as Troton Salor, and put him through the table. And the man got back up and urged you to continue to fight him again and again. The same, I'll just say maniac, had knocked out Arnaud Vessler, who still lays unconscious on the floor, and you as well, Wynn, who had been brought to near death as Troton had repeatedly assaulted you with his battle axe. But, unlike the still unconscious Lord Vessler, you were brought back, or rather, you woke up on that beach again, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by nothing. And a vision of Arale, the world druid, forced you back into our world to finish this fight like Master Chief would have done.
Thank you. If you didn't make the reference, I sure as hell would have.
Sir, finishing this fight.
During this whole fight, I mean, we all saw it, but around Troton Oscillor's neck, a crystal necklace, much like the shards that sit in Ash's pocket, jolted and buzzed with life as the crystal that was plunged into the side of Darmay did, well, really anything. And Ash, you might not have noticed this during the fight, but now that crystal shakes and burns in your pocket, physically hot to the touch even through the actual material of your pocket. But, in the midst of all of this, outside, Rotmar is still on fire. As any of you look out the windows, Rotmar burns, or at least the richer and nobler parts of the city, with smaller fires and pillars of smoke slightly scattered across the rest of the city. But, already, most of the fires seem to dwindle and shrink lower, like whatever else was going on in the city has already begun to subside, with one key exception. The palace. The Imperial Palace of the Ront sits ablaze, two of the main towers of the building fully burning and a faint red glow visible throughout the entirety of the whole grand structure. And from even here, you see magic. Bolts and charges of magic fly around the palace. Some seem like attacks, pulses of elemental magic and light soar around, and others seem to be focused on putting out the flames, and yet more focused on reigniting them and igniting more flames. Captain Seaward is also here. And he's
Love that guy.
Yeah. The Arakakra hero steps back from the window, shaking himself free of the trance of just watching the fires and twinkling light of the hearth. Yeah, which of you lot can stand? We have to get to the palace. And he pauses, looking over all of you and the fucked up dining room once again. And we need to get Lady Onda and Lord Vessler to the infirmary at the guild. I'll gather horses. Get your wits about you. And he rushes off to get horses. So this isn't like a strict railroad of who's going where. I also want to leave time for us to chat here in case anyone wants to say anything. And in fact, you can all go the same place if you like. But in addition to talking, we have options here of the palace and whatever the fuck's going on there, and getting our injured folks here to the safety of the guild's infirmary. I should also note Chiron is not currently in the room. Who's doing what?
The fires are gone, right? So Chiron can.
So here it's like placid.
I mean the blue fires that.
Yeah,
were
when the Shatterers left, that all fucked off too.
I mean, I assume that Chiron's gonna come into the room. If not, I'm gonna look out the door and be like, "Yo, you there, buddy?"
Yes. Well, how is she doing? You said I had the crystal. Unconscious?
Stabilized but unconscious.
Okay.
You stitched up her wound last time using a method that seemed unnatural, but it did work.
Right. Chris, some geography.
Mm-hmm.
This is are we in the capital?
Yes.
Still?
Yes.
So this is the big old. So this is the palace, like the
that's
the palace.
Well, we're in the noble district. The palace is somewhere else. Yeah.
That is like the main palace of the whole empire. Back when this city was just basically a walled city, that would have been where everyone was safe from the monsters. Like when a palace does its actual job and is like a fortified castle as opposed to a place you go.
Okay.
But it's now, it's been 2 centuries since then, so it's just like a city now.
Is the hearth close to the palace?
Yeah, very close.
Okay.
Okay, shit.
So,
Like,
basic like geography for overall the city is that all the main structures are built within like spitting distance of the hearth. The Mage's College is built directly around it. Next to that are both on like one side would be Shatterguard HQ, one side would be the palace, one side would be the guild.
So like from here, how much of a trip is it to the palace?
So the noble
We talking
district
like
is
an
like,
hour
built
or
out-
minutes?
No, like minutes.
Okay.
10 on horses, like because he's getting horses, maybe 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
10 probably. That's more reasonable.
Does how far away are we from like the nearest like place being kind of tormented by the fire? Like how isolated is the place we're at right now in comparison?
So like all the big fancy noble like estates are built near the palace. Like the noble district is near the palace, but they're a bit more separated just because they require a lot of land because rich people. But like it's pretty much a straight shot from the noble districts to the palace. And you can kind of see it in the art here, but there is a main road that goes straight into the palace's front.
Everyone's pretty much drained, right?
Yeah.
Like all our spells got expended.
Honestly, I would probably just keep, even if it's not necessary, I already stabilized, I'd keep replaying, being outside of the person and just making sure 100%, like I would be like double, beyond just triple, like obsessively making sure that this person is not.
Yeah, Darmay's your
dead.
patient.
Yeah. Alistair peeks out and makes sure you're there. Like, is everything okay if it's Arle? Or if it's sorry,
Darme.
Darme.
No, Arle is dead.
Yeah, she's been dead for a long time.
Or
And we make sure of that.
Let's see. So who else we have? We have Sahia and her parents with us too.
Sahia is conscious. Darme's parents are currently not in the room, but I would say they would probably rush over to their daughter, and check on her. And Perron, do you put your mask back on, or are you just letting it be off?
For now, yeah, unless I sense somebody's coming up to me.
So like the Ondals, Darme's parents are rushing over to see their daughter and make sure she's not dead.
Yeah, well then I would try to cover up anything I can in terms of. But the wrapping's still probably off, but I probably just try to quick solution.
Yeah, like a quick sloppy.
Yeah.
Okay. Sahia is conscious but looks like dog ass. Captain Seaward looks fine. He's not in the room right now. Vessler's unconscious, and the rest of you are all conscious / barely conscious.
Yeah. If I can see that Chiron is over there, Chiron, is she okay?
I say directly to the parents, I'm not trying to ignore Alistair, but I was mainly focused on the parents at the time. I was like, I swear she's okay. I didn't do anything wrong. She's okay. I promise. She's okay. It wasn't me. She's okay.
Roll me a intimidation check.
Intimidation.
I have reasons.
My charisma is terrible.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying, wow, that's
16 actually. Though. Not bad.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, we don't know. Could be good or bad.
They seem that's true. They seem like taken aback by your protectiveness over both the manner of her being conscious and your own medical work, but seem at least reassured that A, you're actively treating her, and B, that she seems to no longer be, in active harm. Alistair, what did you yell at Chiron?
One, just making sure that Darme is okay, because that was the whole point of this fucking mission. I'm gonna be doubly upset if something is wrong with her. But also, I was hoping to be like, hey, you want to check on Vessler, dog? Because he put up a fight this fight, but he is unconscious. And Chiron is a doctor.
I don't know how the parents react if they're like, hey, like,
this seems more important to me shouting.
If the parents say like, hey, leave us some space, or are they like kind of like still giving me
They're not stopping your work at all. They're like
Okay.
letting you do what you're doing.
It sounds crazy, but I stay. I know Vessler's down. I stay near her.
Okay.
It.
Are there all the other nobles like dipped, right? The quote unquote horde of nobles that were in here.
Everyone else literally ran the fuck out of the whole estate and bolted.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like they're gone. They're not.
They're gone. Minus the bodies on the floor.
Chris, I do have something to run by you. The crystal that like pierced her and like disintegrated.
It's like sitting like if it's not in your hands, it's like sitting by your knees basically.
Okay, sure. Can I evaluate that versus like her wound and try to like, is this gonna get like, is it ever gonna heal? Is this like permanent damage? Like, is this something that goes beyond just an affliction, like a current?
Give me a mixed check, Arcana and Medicine.
Oh man, okay, that's fair. How do you want me to? I did pretty bad
You
on it.
roll them and add them, and then you have a number you have to beat.
I got a 7, so we're not. It's too. I'm caught up in the moment. I'm too focused. Yeah.
You can't discern any like. So the thing about the crystal is that when it was stabbed into Darmay, it was smaller than it is now. It has physically grown in a matter of minutes. It still looks incomplete though, whereas the crystal Ash has is like full to the brim with whatever that weird magic that's inside of it is. This one has space. Like I said, like when you move it, like you can see it sloshing around like a liquid, like some sort of thing that's filling the space, but it fills it wrong. It doesn't like fall like you'd expect water to, for example. And even looking at like the crystal is jagged and misshapen, whereas the cut in Darmay's side, which you've now stitched up, is I guess like blade shaped. Like it looks like, you know, she was stabbed with any regular stabbing implement and not this weird thing.
Okay. And I'll just keep repeating. I don't know what happened. I don't know what this is. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I'm going to say those of you who are in the room can hear Chiron yelling.
Yeah, at this point, seeing that he's like having a moment with this, I would come over and like put a hand on his shoulder and be like, "Are you okay, buddy? Is everything all right? We got them. They're gone."
No, it's she's still out. I gotta help her.
Well, we just had Captain Sievert suggest taking some people to the infirmary. Would you like to accompany her to there?
For memory's sake, Chiron, this is the same infirmary at the guild that, first of all, you had helped out at before, but secondly, when you were in the guild and that spirit like left that tiefling woman, you had to like force it back in. Same place. So you're at least you're familiar with this infirmary at least multiple times.
Yeah, we'd be better if we can move her to some place where I can have as much like tools and stuff to make sure she's fine. Just yes, move her if we need to.
I'm gonna say during this conversation, because it's not like super important. This can happen whenever. The captain does return, and he has both horses ready for those of you who want to go to the palace, and a carriage to lay out the unconscious people in and bring them back to.
I just start grabbing the unconscious people.
Yeah, it's just Vessler. Sahia looks like garbage, and the mask she wore to the party is broken.
Sahia's getting on the carriage, but I'm gonna help her.
Yeah.
I think while this is all happening, I'm like checking all the other people here that look dead. If anyone's like a survivor, anyone's like just unconscious.
That's interesting. Give me an Arcana check win.
Gotcha. Cool. That is a 17, I believe.
So
No, that's a 20. Dirty 20.
So, normally, any living creature has a faint amount of resonant magic in them. I said this during the Stay arc about the sleeping people, like they were losing it. It's what some might consider a soul, but it's just like a trace amount of magic that is present in any person. And usually, when someone dies, that's still there. That's, for example, what you would cling to as someone that would be able to bring someone back to life with a resurrection spell of any variety.
Yes.
For all the people here, it's gone. And not like it has left of natural means, like it has been pulled away.
Right. Well, that's interesting.
I will note for memory. These people were killed either by the Shatterer with the claw, like the ones with the claws, Selfaria stabbing people, or the other one throwing a fireball.
Yeah.
Are we? Is the Captain Seaworth? Are we starting to move people who are injured onto the cart? I assume.
That's like whenever y'all want to. Like, I'm not trying to say we need to leave the scene right now, but whenever you want to go.
No, I will directly approach Chiron and be like, we should move Darmay onto the carriage. Whether we're getting her there or not, someone needs to get her to the infirmary.
And sorry, Chris, the other option is go towards the palace for...
Yes. The captain's going to go to the palace regardless, and he's not requiring you to come with him.
but to like make sure things are okay there.
Well, from what you would gather... perception check.
Sure.
Can we all do that or no?
Sure.
What's my perception?
Yeah, it's 12.
19 for me.
Okay.
Nice.
From the direction of the palace, Jumper, that sure still looks like the signs of fighting.
Oh wow.
Or at least danger.
Yeah.
Well.
I would like to head to the palace once we're wrapped up here. And I think I would like Alistair to join me for politics reasons.
Alistair does want to go towards the palace, despite the fact that he can do effectively nothing in a fight at this point. But
I will, as someone producing content here, if and I'm assuming we will, if we split the party here, it will not be a terribly long split.
Okay,
Cool. I want Alistair to join me because going to the palace with someone who, like, is a noble and also is a bard seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
So where do you find that guy?
Got his ass. Boomed him.
This is one other thing. This won't affect my decision, but Chris, Alistair think there's a chance his dad would be in that direction.
Ooh.
Your dad here? You knew he was here.
Yeah. I saw him. Well, I was disguised.
Here's my question for you. As someone that has to write their own lore, is your father the kind of guy who he left this party when the fight happened?
Yeah.
Do you think he's the kind of guy that would run to the palace to try to help / be safe or whatever the fuck, or would he get to safety for himself?
Oh man. Is your father a coward?
And honestly, you don't even got to answer that out loud if you don't want to. You can keep that in your brain and make a decision based off that, or tell us. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I will keep it close to the chest for now. I will say that I do want, Alistair does want to go to the palace.
Also, how long has it been since you left? Like, since you left?
Since I left the family?
Yeah.
The whole time in the college, but before that it was nothing.
So, would he recognize you?
I imagine so.
They're are you elves or half elves?
Half elf, but
Their fucking aging is slow as fuck.
yeah.
Is he elf?
He's human.
He's human.
Oh, nice. I know those guys are going to the palace. I'm honestly staying with body control, medical body control out here.
So
I look at Alistair and Win, and I'm like, I'm going with you. You guys look terrible.
Very happy to have you, big guy.
Very much so.
Chiron's going to the infirmary. Junver, Win, Alistair are going to the palace. Ash.
Yeah, so I haven't said anything yet. So what Ash did was Ash went to go check on the nearest injured person. But then he remembered he has 2 health, and the last person to attack him was Trotus with a battle axe.
Yeah.
So he makes it about 1 step before all the strength in his body leaves him, and I kind of just crumble to the ground.
Okay.
So I guess like down on 1 knee, like not bleeding out obviously, but I really can't move right now.
Yeah.
I am not unconscious, not bleeding out, but I have nothing left in the tank, magical, physical wise.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ash, do you want to hand into the carriage? I think you should go to the infirmary.
Somebody needs to keep an eye on this guy. My point at Chiron.
Yeah, I think Ash and Chiron going to the infirmary.
Let Ash talk. Come on.
Just go do what you need to do. I'll figure out what I'm doing when I can. Just go.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that for that purpose, Ash can either go to the infirmary or just stay here if he wants to. But let's split now and have the rest of you go to the palace.
Cool.
Yeah. Before we leave,
Yes.
I don't know if this is going to be necessary, but just in case, I want to cast Pass Without Trace on the Palace team.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love that.
Normally Chiron would have made a remark, but he's strangely like in like a France, like in the zone kind of thing, right?
Oh, a remark about
in the France.
how it won't help. He did say in the France, but but he meant trance, and I understood.
Those of you who are heading to the palace.
Yeah.
The captain rushes back to you all and leads you over to a small collection of horses that he has gathered, like sort of pulled off the various carriages that were left unattended when people were just running in the mess, the fracas. And he mounts one of the horses and waves for you all to do the same.
Cool.
You all gallop through the streets. People run and dash in front of you. You have to sort of like swerve to avoid trampling people. And in the distance, you hear more rumbling and explosions from the palace. Until suddenly, you don't. And you pause, and everyone pauses. The whole city seems to fall still as you all hear a deafening, resounding, ringing noise. Like the largest bell in the world was just smacked with a hammer. Bursting from the direction of the palace, filling the sky, and nearly lighting up the whole city as if it were suddenly morning, is a towering shield of light.
What the fuck?
That sounds bad.
Wow.
Can I have a history
No,
check
that sounds-
Yeah, that sounds kind of badass, actually.
That
Yeah,
sounds
it's
sick.
very cool.
I have a history check from Alice. Who has proficiency in history?
Me.
Surprisingly, I think I do.
All right, then yeah, you too.
That's
when you
a
don't-
natural 20. Plus
I do.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, then I'm just gonna read it because Alistair got a natural fucking 20.
Oh, I got a dirty 20.
Great.
History boys, what up?
You've seen this depicted in illustrations and murals, and you've seen it in your own imagination, perhaps, as a child. This is the Grand Shield of Les Carverstone, the unbreakable bulwark that earned the Shield Hero her title as bulwark of the Empire. And even now, staring up at it, when you might have seen it depicted or heard how it protected thousands and thousands of people from the attack of the Sky Eater, that might have seemed far-fetched or exaggerated over time. It's been 200-something years. Seeing it now, the second largest thing in the whole city, dwarfed only by the hearth itself, it seems a lot more feasible that, yeah, that could block literally anything. And in fact, the luminous gold tower that is this literal tower shield has bisected the palace itself and has sort of like blocked off part of it from whatever. But while most of the city looks on in awe and shock, Captain Seaward looks horrified. Why did she need? He starts to speak, but then pulls the reins of the horse and once again begins galloping towards the palace, which is now covered and illuminated by the shimmering golden light of Les's bulwark. You follow the captain, not that it's super needed now, there's a very clear direction to move towards, and around you, people who would have been cowering just minutes ago have exited their homes and are looking up at the sky. And as you get closer to the palace, the streets get emptier. And rather than people rushing away, you see people rushing towards the still burning palace. Some in plain clothes, some in Shatterguard uniform, and even some bearing guild signets like yourselves. A guard calls out for you to stop, but I'm gonna say, due to winds pass without trace, you just gallop past them. Above you, the shield spell fades, and the light begins to dim before ceasing entirely, returning to the darkness of night, offset just by the fires that still flicker in some places and other places roar. You see Shatterguard rushing about, some brandishing larger hand crystals that they use to summon water to try to douse flames. You ride up the stairs of the palace proper, and you come to a crowd by the gates. The captain dismounts and begins to push through, waving his guild signet like a police badge wildly as he shoves people aside. And muscling your way through the confused mix of military, Shatterguard, nobles, commoners, and the like, no one seems to know what's going on. And when you finally get through the mess, you see what has everyone held up. A line of guards and heroes alike bar people from getting any closer. but seeing the captain and you all, a group of heroes showing up, they ease a bit and let you sort of move closer to see what's going on without actually letting you through. Instead, sort of bringing you all into this line that is keeping regular people away from whatever's going on in the palace. And here, everyone stands and watches as brilliant green magic fills the Dark Palace courtyard in a pulse of light. And then again, and again, and again. And you all recognize several people here in the courtyard. Marin is here, who is helping Les Carverstone stand, both with eyes downturned. And there are 2 other people you recognize. And you all recognize them despite us having not met either of them before on saving throw. Knelt in the center of this is Kasira. More accurately, Headmistress Kasira, head of the Adventurers Academy, and to all of you, your former teacher. The woman who made the final decision to pass all of you and accept you all into the Heroes Guild. Her hands glow with magic, those pulses of green magic I just mentioned, that fill the courtyard in flashes before fading and repeating again and again. And with every spell she casts, you can literally feel the magic she's pulling from the air and pushing into, well, the body of the other person you recognize. And while you all know Kasira literally personally, you all don't know this person, but you all recognize them. I mean, how could you not? His face is on all the coins in the Empire.
No fucking way!
Beneath Kasira lies the Emperor, Philo Ront, ruler of the entire Destinian Empire, or what is left of him. He lies beneath Kasira unmoving, as she tries again and again to heal him, and each time she places her hands to him trying all manner of spells, nothing happens. And it feels like an hour passes, but it very well could have only been a minute, and the Aasimar woman rises to her feet, looks to Marin and Les, and speaks. He's dead, and I can't bring him back. And with that, let's jump to the other party, who I assume are heading towards the guild. Ash, did you join them on the way to the infirmary, or are you still sitting in the wreckage of the Ondal estate?
Then I'll say I would manage to stagger up to medical transport of some sort.
And I would say someone, presumably Chiron, would go and help you. Or maybe Sahia. Alright, well, hold on. You all are now in a carriage. That's in fact Bessler's carriage from before. I don't think Seaward knew that, he just got lucky. And you all are heading back towards the guild. Who's driving this car? Chiron?
I thought I can.
Probably the only one that's conscious.
It would have to be you or Sahia or Ash, but Ash is fucked up.
Could it be Darme's dad?
Yeah.
None of them know how to fucking drive a carriage. They're rich as fuck.
You know what? That's fair.
I'll drive. I mean, if no one else is gonna drive it, then I'll drive it. Yeah.
Through the streets towards the guild district, there's just less going on. Less crowds, nearly no fires, and the majority of people rush in the opposite direction of you, heading either towards the palace, or at least to look outside at what the fuck is happening, and at this point, with Les's grand shield still towering above the city. But you all trudge along, injured folks in tow, as you arrive within the outer walls of the guild's property. And you find a similar scene to what the others found at the palace in terms of people. Shatterguard and heroes mill about. But unlike at the palace, no one attempts to stop or hold you back. Seeing you're injured and recognizing you, Chiron, now driving the carriage as a member of the guild, they just let you through. No one makes any moves to stop you, and in fact, some people come over to help you. An elven man wearing what I could easily just describe as a cowboy hat approaches you and offers to help carry people out of the carriage. Chiron.
Yes.
You recognize this hero to be Errol Marr. He was the gentleman that helped you when you forced that spirit back into that tiefling woman right here in the thing.
Okay.
And you see his accomplice, the same tiefling, the hero who works for the guild, Roa Bell, who is the person you had helped before when some kind of spirit erupted out of her, and you helped force it back inside. That's a throwback to 2 intermissions ago, for people who know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Read a book.
You'll find that in a book.
Saving throw the novel. Errol speaks. Y'all still alive? What the shit happened?
Never mind right now. It's too long of a story. Get these people off and get them to the infirmary as quick as possible. Good to see you guys healthy and back in the land of the living, though.
I appreciate that. We got our own problems here. Hang on. He whistles and calls over people to come help, get people to the infirmary. We got well, it weren't an attack, so to say, but somebody left us a message here, too. He gestures beyond the courtyard to the entrance to the guild proper, where you would all pass day to day, heading to, like, the office or the kitchens or to see Black Eyed Billy. This is, like, the main entrance. There stands a banner, flaming and burning with that familiar and uncomfortable blue and black magic that you just can't seem to get the fuck away from. The magic banner hangs on the wall of the guild, with a message written on it in triplicate. And we're gonna hold on that message while we bounce back to the palace. At this point, it's been a few minutes since Kasira pronounced the Emperor dead. And since then, people have stood around in an uncomfortable and unnatural stillness. People speak around you in whispers, and Marin and Les speak with Kasira, whose eyes remain downturned, looking at the deceased Emperor. From the crowd, someone breaks the mixed quiet with a call, an announcement in a breaking voice. "The Emperor's dead!" They call to the crowd, followed by, "TL killed the Emperor!" A roar of noise washes over the crowd surrounding the palace courtyard. Questions, arguments, disputes as to who saw what, blame being pointed and blame being shifted, and the captain turns to you all. "It's hardly time, but we have to tell them what happened," he mentions as he pushes a hole in the line of people and ushers you all through towards Marin and company. The gnome woman looks up at you all and seems ambivalent to see you, somewhere between upset and wildly concerned. And Marin moves towards you, still helping support Les's weight. "Oh, by the gods, what happened now?"
Well, if you call this ground zero, we were at ground one.
I'm gonna make the 9/11 joke, not fucking win.
That's incredible. Viva at the party. Wait, does she know about the whole mission
Nope.
with Vessler? Viva at but she does know about the Ondal family having a party.
He wasn't here.
Well,
Wait. Marin doesn't know
No.
that. Okay.
No, because Marin was with Kasira.
Right.
Well, after Strainmar, Marin and Kasira went off trying to find TL.
Okay.
When you returned to Rontmar, it was the prince and Vessler who sort of proposed the idea of this. Only, in fact, knowing that it would be possible to sort of spring this trap on the Shatterers in theory, because Marin would not be at the party.
Okay.
Because if Marin is there, it's a lot harder to attack someone than if not Marin is there.
Fuck. Viva on. Viva in the middle of something in the city. And we fought a bunch of people calling themselves the Shatterers. They ran away, but they ran away. Ash is in rough condition. Darmay is in critical condition, but stabilized. And them and Chiron are at the infirmary now. We rushed towards the capital here to see what was happening.
Marin bristles at your words, particularly mentioning the Shatterers, and shifts on her feet, slumping Les's arm a bit lower on her shoulder. Okay, not here. We need a controlled place. We need somewhere safe. Jennifer, give me a hand here. And he's like gesturing to her. She's gesturing for you to come help.
I would have already done that. I was gonna just say I was gonna do that anyway.
you help. What's the thing about? She moves to get you, Junver, to help carry Les's dead weight effectively. And while the dwarf heroine looks gaunt, her age is much more apparent now than it was even a couple days ago when you spoke to her. And her armor has been scorched by something. Marin turns to Kasira, who seems to be keeping people back from the corpse of the Emperor, as she once again pulls magic into her hands and attempts to cast yet another spell to revive the Emperor, and yet again nothing happens. The two guild heads, Marin and Kasira, make eye contact, and seem to communicate with just a look, a solemn one at that. She'll catch up, and Marin gestures for you all to come with her and leave.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And you all move now, and the crowd parts around you, particularly making large amounts of space around Marin, who people look at with, I'm just going to say, mixed expressions, and we can unpack that later. Marin speaks as you walk, practically a mutter, but loud enough that all of you walking can hear her. She looked like herself, not like whatever we saw in Strainmar. She wanted everyone to know it was her. She wanted the scene.
Oh, shit.
You awkwardly make the trek from the palace towards the guild, and I'm going to speed that along so we can all regroup.
Yeah.
Those of you at the guild, Errol Mar, the cowboy hat wearing hero named for patron Tasty Marbar, is more or less directing traffic. And while he has let most people proceed through to the infirmary, he is mostly keeping lots of people from just walking right into the guild, along with help from Roa Bell, shout out patron Croissant. But there's a third person with them, a wizard short of stature with a simply massive wizard's hat, who is attempting to cast a spell, and in fact attempting to dispel the magical message on the wall of the guild. All the folks with Marin. It's about now in the journey that you approach the guild, and you see guards and heroes. You see the rest of your party being unloaded and helped off of the cart, with an injured Sahia, Vessler, Ashbaugh, and Darmay in tow. Chiron, to you, Errolmar speaks. Yeah. Balls. Turning and moving to intercept Marin. Boss! He calls out, stepping in front and attempting to stop Marin, getting in her way. Oh, what happened? Everybody all right? Marin is trying to move around him because Shira wasn't able to save him. She speaks softly, quickly, and tries to move beyond Errol, who yet again tries to stop her. Whoa, wait, boss, you don't want to see that. Whoever the fuck was here left us a message, and just hold us up. Herzog's trying to, and he turns back. Hey, Herzog, hurry the fuck up! The mage in the large hat turns and wildly gesticulates without actually saying anything, to which Errol responds as if he had said words. What do you mean you can't dispel it? And while the other two heroes argue, Marin steps forward. And you all look up at the message burnt into the wall of the guild. A spell has conjured a hanging banner there, a strange thing to use a spell for, but on the banner reads a message. 3 lines repeating the same thing. The Guildmaster...
We're here to contact you about your car's extended warranty.
He got me. He boomed me. The message reads, the Guildmaster is dead. The Guildmaster is dead. The Guildmaster is dead. Those of us with proficiency in history, roll me a history check. Those of us with Arcana proficiency, do the same.
17.
Which was, is it history or Arcana?
History, sorry.
Yeah, nat 20 plus 24 on Arcana.
21 history for me, dirty.
Definitely John Alistair too, why not? This is a long bit, so bear with me. The phrase, the Guildmaster is dead, is antiquated. 130 years-ish antiquated. So very quickly. The exact phrase, the Guildmaster is dead, refers to the decree from the Emperor, the first Emperor, Talorant, informing the Empire that Cade, founder of the Guild, died. Following Cade's death, there was a lot of arguing about what was to become of the Guild, who was going to lead it, who was going to fill the shoes of Cade. Eventually, our current system was set in place, with 4 heads of the Guild. Kassira for the Academy, somebody representing the nobility, currently that'd be Vessler, someone representing the Mages College, currently that'd be Darmay, and then representing the heroes and the Guild proper, the real focal head of the Guild, which Marin filled the role of. Mm-hmm. However, Marin did not originally want the role, and was also not the first choice for it, and in fact only took the role as an alternative to Talorant's proposed solution, which was to fold the Guild into the Shatter Guard. But I'm getting off track. The phrase, the Guildmaster is dead, was originally an announcement that Cade had died. And in this scramble to figure out who was taking his place, there were plenty of people who did not think Marin was fit for the job, and did not want Marin to have the job. And detractors of Marin began to use this phrase as she took office. The Guildmaster is dead.
God damn.
It became synonymous with Marin's early years as head of the guild.
Hashtag a cruel Guildmaster.
Yes. A cruel phrase whispered behind Marin's back and graffitied about the city by, I'm just gonna say it, assholes that didn't think Marin could handle the duties of the job her husband held before her. But Over time, over a century and a half now, Marin stayed at the head of the guild, and it recovered from the loss of Cade. It recovered from Arle and TL leaving, from Talor, Hepturn, and Donat passing away. Marin persisted as the guild head. And eventually, the phrase faded away while Marin led the guild now for, as I mentioned, over a century. A centuries-old insult written up on the walls of the guild. And beyond that, no damage seems to be done. The guild looks normal, because this wasn't an attack on the guild. This was an attack solely to hurt Marin. That wasn't a lot. What about those Arcana checks? Ash. The spell here, like I said before, kind of a wasteful thing to use a spell to put up on the wall. Who would spend so much magic? Who would spend so much magic just to leave a note and like a taunt at that? You recognize it easily by now. And I'm gonna say even Wynn with your lower score can recognize this. Yeah. That is the magic TL carried. The same that you felt at the Ondal state when the Shatterers attack. Those of you with any attunement to magic can feel it heavy and gross in the air. The unsettling wrongness of it like pins and needles up your spine. And Ash, you're able to understand quickly what this other wizard hero, Herzog, shout out to longtime patron Analuster, ding.
Hey.
It's clear to you why Herzog was unable to dispel it. It's that same wrong magic, that otherness that exists outside of the schools of magic, that anti-magic that resists your spell. Like when Wynn tried to heal Calabash Jones and was shocked by her own magic. Or when even removing that crystal from Darmay turned her magic against Chiron and injured him. Or Ash, like your uncle had warned you last time, that same magic that poisons crystals and makes them volatile and violent. Marin looks up at the message, flickering on the banner above, and Les sort of gets off of, like, you know, using Jennifer's weight to support her, and stands on her own feet to place a hand on Marin's shoulder. Beneath the words on the banner sits a symbol, a circular emblem with a crystal at the center, somewhat like the guild signet, which bears that same crystal being pierced by an arrow, referencing the sacrifices we had to make to start the Empire and save the world. But this symbol is different. In that emblem sits a crystal, pierced by 6 sharp lines. And well, it feels a bit obvious to say, but shattering the crystal in the emblem itself. Marin speaks. Get the injured to the infirmary, lock down the guild, no one in or out without my say. She turns now to the guards and heroes that look to the guild head for some sort of guidance. Okay, listen up, because I don't want to have to say this again. Tonight, TL of Kinmar killed the Emperor. Philo Ront's dead, and whatever TL used to kill him, we failed to stop her, and not even Kasira can bring him back. The Emperor didn't want most of you to hear this, but it's too late for secrets, and I'm sick of secrets getting people fucking killed. TL of Kinmar is a monster, and she's not alone. They call themselves the Shatterers, and they want to shatter the hearth. I have no idea why, and I don't know who they are or what they are. And I want to be clear about this, I don't fucking care. Because we're going to stop them. And I know some of them are here, probably in this crowd. I know they're listening, so fucking listen. She turns and points to the banner hanging in the guild. If you think that's gonna fucking scare us, if you think you're going to get in our heads and send us running, clearly you've forgotten that everyone here, guild member or not, is a fucking hero. And you're not the big scary monsters you think you are. Now I said lock this fucking place down, get to it. Marin shouts her order and people begin to move. Errolmar and his party help bring Darmay and Vessler and Ash and such to the infirmary. And those of you that are injured, I'm gonna say we go along and help bring Les Carverstone as well. And with that, we're going to leave Marin in the guild hall, looking up at the hanging banner, and take a long rest.
Oh, thank God.
Let's go! Let's go!
For the purposes of streamlining this,
Yeah,
in the morning, you're all in the infirmary, because I need you all in one place.
great.
Either having slept there from your various wounds, I mean, Wynn and Ash were near death, for God's sake, and you all awake. And there are various other people here in the infirmary. Other heroes hurt in the fighting at the palace. Of course, the general staff that works here is also here. Conspicuous by their absence are both Lord Vessler and the heavily wounded Darmay Ondal. To the door of the infirmary opens, and in steps a familiar face. A former teacher to each and every one of you. Kasira, headmistress of the Adventuring Academy.
New art.
Shout out to Nez for new art, baby!
Oh, nice.
The Osimir woman steps into the room and forces a smile when looking at you all. It's been some time. All things considered,
since I looked at you.
What'd you say? Oh, God damn it. It's man. All things considered, you look quite well. I must say I'm glad to see you all remained in the guild after you left the academy. I will admit I had my doubts about passing you all. I remember when I did, Marin could hardly believe it. Your performance on test missions was less than stellar. I remember she said, you passed those, and she pauses. Those ones. The ones that got your cat out of the tree, which I should mention, Granny Whiskers is doing wonderful. I'm sure she meows hello.
Oh, we don't have to talk about our many accomplishments.
Shout out to Confused Grandma, who just wanted a character named Granny something.
Incredible.
That's amazing.
Granny Whiskers, baby. She's an immortal cat.
Can't believe we only passed the rank D ninja missions. Goddamn.
Facts. But anyway, you did all pass, at least by my measure. And make no mistake, you deserve to be here, to be called heroes. Very few people can say they stood up to both Arle and TL and lived long enough to tell the tale. And she pauses. Actually, I think only Marin can say that. Anything for Kassir before I read more shit?
I would have did more, but my body is not yet perfected the way I need it to be.
My body is not ready.
It's a shame that this vessel is not, satisfactory, but we will make sure it's at physical condition when I can.
When the vessel's ready, can you change your name to Reggie?
My vessel is ready.
Thank you for checking in on us. How are you? I understand that you also had a pretty rough night.
When I perfected resurrection was a very long time ago by your measure, 1,000 years, I believe.
Jesus.
People asked me often to bring people back, and for the most part, I was able to do so. Last night, I was not. That is a new experience for me. Yes, we need to discuss the matters of last night, and I'm going to warn you all now. Marin is not in the best of moods, especially regarding your own mission, as I understand it, from last night. So do brace yourselves for that. I personally do not blame you, and I know Marin is particularly angry at the young Lord Vessler for his decision in the first place, but let me offer you this. Something I have learned in my long life is that people often assume the difficulty in our duty is from the dangers, and much of it is. But part of the troubles of being a hero lie in the fact that it is not always clear what is the right thing to do. It's not all fighting evil, it is also in knowing what is the truly heroic decision and what is unneeded risk or just martyrdom. It took me centuries to fully grasp that. I'm afraid you don't have the luxury of such time. When you have your wits about you, please meet us in the guild office.
But my first instinct before I would head over there is do one last check on Darmay, and
so
if Ashball is not up either, I'd check him. Probably.
Darmay is not here. And as I mentioned, conspicuous by their absence are both Lord Vessler and Darmay, who definitely should be in a fucking infirmary right now, and neither of them are.
Yeah.
Did Kassir fuck off already? Can we ask her where they are?
If you want to ask a question, she's still there.
Yeah, we brought Vessler and Darmay back last night. But
at the mention of Vessler, Kassir folds her hands in a sort of nervous gesture.
Where is she?
Lord Vessler has returned to his office against my own urgings. The Ondal have returned their daughter home under a military level of guard. Once again, against our urgings.
She needs to be medically stationed, not imprisoned and guarded. She needs to be checked. She needs to be... there's too many medical problems that could be arising from that. We don't know what this thing is. And you're gonna put her under some medical guard?
Dr. Hemlock, I agree with you. However, I have no power here, and neither do you. As strong as I like to think I am, and as medically sound as you are, at the end of the day, we are powerless against what a parent wishes for their child. And yes, that sucks.
I understand we're in some degree of trouble for things that I think was the correct choice, at least for us at the time. But is there any way we could get word of Dame's situation as soon as she wakes up, or if there's any updates? I think we'd all appreciate that as our friends.
Kasira nods. I cast as powerful of healing as I am able onto Madame Ondal. As soon as I hear word, I will let you know the same.
Thank you. Okay.
And then I'm gonna say, unless there's no other questions, Kasira does leave in case y'all want to chat before you go talk to the guild office.
Sure.
Wait, so you go up to the guild office, which is where Vessler is, right? Presumably.
Vessler's office is in the direction of that. Oh, yeah, presumably, yes.
Okay. Because if Vessler's somewhere that's not where we need to go, I'm gonna drag his ass back to the infirmary. I will literally just pick him up and carry him back to the infirmary.
Interesting, I like that. We'll talk on that in a mo.
Is before she's out of sight, like waiting for us or whatever?
I mean, if you want to ask her another question, she'll poof back into the room, but otherwise she's gone. Yeah.
No, I just want to be like, okay, so I know we're not the best at this, but we might want to have our story straight on what we're willing to talk about or not before one of us says some things that somebody else wishes we kept secrets.
We fucked up and got people killed. Let's go. I leave the room and start heading there.
Okay. Listen, I think honesty is a great policy here. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Does anyone need reminding of anything that happened last time?
I tried again and I failed again, and it's just always a failure. I can never say, and I keep saying and muttering stuff, and I just walk off towards like Ash, while I'm still like saying all of those like phrases and stuff, just like failure and shit.
Genuflecting.
We're doing great, Alistar. I think we're fine. Everything's great.
Glad to hear it.
Think this is gonna go real smooth. I'm gonna go drag Vessler's ass over to the infirmary now.
Vin, how you feeling?
It has been one hell of a day. and one hell of a night at that. I'm just still trying to put it behind me. You know, we fucked up. But the best thing we can do is learn from our mistakes and not let it make us worse.
Well said. Yeah, I'm following the group. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You make your way towards the main office of the guild, and stepping out into the main area of the guild hall, you see that magic banner that said the Guildmaster is dead is no longer there.
Oh, thank God.
And honestly, things are normal. And that in and of itself is weird. People bustle about and are clearly doing things, maybe more actively than normal, but here within the guild, where nothing was destroyed or killed, it's some sense of normal. You move towards the main office, and as you enter the web of pathways, you pass the hallway towards Lord Vessler's office. And in that direction, you hear shouting, arguing. This is a blatant, are you snooping or just going to the office check? Both are totally valid.
Sorry, the yelling is coming from the office?
So Vessler, Marin, and Darmay all have their own offices that are like separate. In Vessler's personal office, it was like say if you go straight, you'll be in the main office. If you go left, you'll go to Vessler's personal. From the left, you hear shouting and arguing.
Can Can I do a perception check to see if I recognize the voices before I snoop further?
Two lines.
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah.
Two lines from now, I have perception check from those of us that like to be nosy. So go ahead.
I would definitely like to be nosy.
That's my perception. I need to roll in Forge more often. Jesus Christ. 20.
Oh,
no,
nice.
19. Sorry, 19.
I'm also snooping, and I rolled a 17.
Snoop.
Oh, I have a 4. Never mind. 21. I was wrong. 21.
Ash, what do you get?
I got it now, Phil.
Nice.
Ash is like, where'd that fucking banner go? As you move closer towards the door to Vessel's office, not even like necessarily directly into the line, just like sort of on the way, you see Shatterguard flanking the door, but unlike last time, they're much more blocking the doorway than they were before. But luckily, on the other side of that door is shouting, and boy, is there no soundproofing. Wynn and Junver, with that, here's what you can hear. I'm gonna move my mic away because I'm about to yell. Fuck that! We are well beyond it, Arno! I want her dead! Fuck capturing her! I don't want her to stand trial! I want her dead! You're supposed to be our arm of the guild! Make it fucking happen! I want every hero hunting her! I want every bloody village to ever step foot and flipped over in search! I need an army out there! Halakir, I understand, but you must do the same. She killed my father in the center of the capital, Arno! Could you possibly understand how I... And then you hear the voice of the prince trail off.
Right, that guy.
And there is a pause before you hear...
That guy?
And there's a pause before you hear, I'm sorry, Arno. And that's the last thing you hear before the conversation returns to a level you can't hear through a wall. Junver, if you still wanted to try to barge in, there are two large men guarding the doorway towards the office, which obviously, the prince is having a conversation with Vessler in.
The prince is having a brawl.
I'm principled. I'm just gonna walk towards the door. Excuse me?
So, last time, when you're walking towards the Vessler,
you know what? Yeah. I'll walk up with Junver here, actually.
So last time, when you moved towards the same door with these presumably same guards blocking it, they were just like, kind of casual. Oh, you have a reason to get going? Great, cool. Now, when you walk up, they immediately place their hands to their weapons. And like, before you even get close, they're like, stop. Yeah. Because... I'm gonna just give you a little bit here. Last night, the Emperor was murdered.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
The prince is in that room.
I'm very aware. Very aware. Thought I would try. Sorry, gentlemen. I don't mean anything by it. I need to grab Vessler.
One of them speaks. Prince Alakir is currently speaking with Lord Vessler. If you need him, you can wait until the prince is done.
I could hear them. They're not quiet. Vessler's...
The guy's like, yeah, we know.
Vessler's ass should be in the infirmary, gentlemen, and he's not doing the prince any favors by trying to work through all of his injuries. He's gonna fuck up.
He is not medically clear. I demand you get out of the way. Now.
They ain't budging.
Alright,
How long's the prince gonna be?
Junver, I have a suspicion it will take roughly the amount of times that we're going to have to talk to the other two.
How dare you!
Fine. Chiron, let's just go talk to Marin and then we'll come back and drag his ass to the infirmary.
Another failure.
Insight check, Junver.
Sure. Nat one.
Wow.
So much for the foundry dice. I shouldn't have called it out.
Who are you even inciting against?
We'll never know.
What the fuck?
You all turn around and head back towards the main office as per usual. And you all enter the office to find it full of the same amount of people as usual. 3. But only one of them is usual. Marin paces behind her desk, while where Vessler usually sits is Les Carverstone. And where one would usually find Darme Ondal, Kasira has taken up the seat. Marin turns to face you all and sighs, placing her hands down on the desk. Let me start off. I'm not mad. Insight check from everybody.
Do I need to do
Yeah,
that
I
if
feel
I'm
like
just
we
gonna
know
say I don't
that.
believe you anyway?
Yes.
11.
I got 22. I got 22.
15.
10. Nat 20 for a 24.
Well, luckily on a 10 or above. Oh, she's so fucking mad, guys. She's so mad. Okay. From the top, run us through what happened. I'm gonna say you guys tell them the full events of the evening.
Yeah.
Anything same thing as any mission recap. Anything particular you want to highlight / want them to talk back to you about?
I would say it's that
about-
fucking. I would say it's that fucking idiot's fault that Darme almost died. Like it was his fault. Like I would really try to blame him.
That's
yeah,
what I assume.
yeah, Vessler. It's his fault.
Vessler and the Prince.
And they're arguing in a hallway across over there while people are dying. Ashball nearly died. Darme almost died, and that asshole is just sitting up there, wounded, and talking to the prince like he just got away with murder. If you're gonna be hostile or blame anybody, blame him. He's the one who hired us in the first place to do this, and he almost got Darme killed.
They got. Think about this. They got the Emperor last night.
Yeah.
Right.
If, like, the fact that Darme is alive, even if Vessler, like, had warned them, she'd probably still, like, odds are she'd be dead anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm assuming our intel was just on this, and if that's the case, then listen, I think better steps could have been made, but having us there versus not having us there would have made a world of difference for the Ondal family, and
Alright,
they'd
particularly.
all be dead.
Pausing on thing 1.
Sure.
Talking about Vessler, particularly Chiron throwing a lot of blame at Vessler. Marin folds her arms and lets out a breath. Lord Vessler already came in here and took full blame for the idea, which I highly suspect is bullshit.
Did you insight check
you
him?
think they're smart enough to come up with something like this?
God damn it. I suppose you all should know. Until further notice, Lord Vessler is suspended from his duties within the guild.
Even more reason he should be in the goddamn infirmary right now.
And I want to be furious, and I want to suspend you all, or worse. And then Les interrupts, but... And Marin grumbles. Pausing on that. Anything else in particular we want to talk about from the night thing?
I would say I would even reference her words back to her. I'd be like, you said it yourself in your speech last night. It's the hardest thing is sometimes not doing the dangerous acts. It's to make choices. And we made a choice that saved people's lives. And potentially, like, what was going to happen happened regardless if we were there or not. We saved many people's lives. And yes, people lost their lives. But many more would have lost their lives without our choices to go into danger. You said it yourself.
Okay, so I am going to do the exact opposite of everyone in my party.
Oh,
Love
no.
it! Love it!
I am going to step forward. I'm going to get on one knee. I am going to bow very deeply, and say, I accept just as much blame as Vessler did. We never expected them to attack on this scale, and we should have considered that. We could have easily counseled the party. We could have easily hidden Darme in somewhere safer. We could have acted better. Vessler does not, and cannot take sole blame for this. He gave us the choice, and he would not have gone through with this plan if we not agreed to it. And for that, I offer my sincere and truest apologies.
I'll apologize on the fact that we didn't stop one of them. That they all got away. We did get stuff from them, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you share the names Sopharia and Trotonosaur.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's what I was gonna ask. If they know anything about Sopharia, Trotonosaur, and
A man
If they don't, can we get leads on that?
simply known as Mr. Subtle.
Mr.
My God,
Mr. Subtle.
He's back. Yeah.
Other stuff I want to bring up, other than the two names, is particularly the necklace and the crystal that we got
yeah.
that was stabbed into her.
I'm not revealing that. I'm not giving it to her.
That's literally what I said before this. I was like, is there something we don't want to reveal?
Yeah,
Too late. I'm gonna reveal it. I don't know who has it, to be fair. I just know that
Exactly. So
she
I'm
was
not-
stabbed with
exactly.
it, and we got it out.
And also their method of retreat, the like black darkness, that might be clear to their whereabouts as well.
I would also like to emphasize that they like completely infiltrated this party. Like,
Oh yeah.
they had a ton of people that managed to get in a party that had pretty tight security that we had to go through a lot of different means to get our group.
Out of character, all of these people would have fucking died. How are we getting blamed for that? I still don't understand.
I'm with you.
This
on
is such
one.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, they would have died.
They could have tried to cancel the party, I think is the main
Out
point.
of character, if we
So
had
they
known
would've-
that attack of coming, they would have counted the party and we would have hidden.
So they would have died in the city? That was like just destroyed?
The main thing,
No, we would have hid Darmay in a different area.
out of character, they probably still would have gotten Darmay, just there wouldn't have been a whole party of people there to also be murdered.
I'm gonna give you guys more credit than you're giving yourselves. Out of DM character,
We did
Darmay-
pretty fucking good.
Darmay was willing to go with them without protest
Right.
until
True.
to protect her family until you guys intervened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just worth remembering. Now,
Also, if her fucking dad doesn't reward me for saving his fucking
taking a
ass,
throat
I
slice
swear
for
to God. I took a literal knife to the neck for his stupid ass.
this is Marin speaking. I hate to admit that this is the exact thing we would have done when we were young and willing to risk anything to win. But at the end of the day, people died last night. And sure, maybe more would have died if you weren't there. Maybe none have. Maybe we would have lost Darmay. Maybe. We can't know that. We'll never know that. And so I don't want you to hang your heads over that. All I know is that we have to do everything we can to protect people. And this part sucks, but it's true. Sometimes, to save as many people as possible, we have to protect someone we've never met over someone we've known for our whole lives. And Marin trails off in thought. You can see that she's physically shaking before pulling her attention back to you all. Luckily for you, the Ondal extend their greatest thanks for saving their daughter. And personally, I thank you for keeping Darmay alive. But that does not change the fact you risked her life in the first place. You used guild resources without approval. You lied to me, and yes, a lie of omission is still a lie. But that's not what I'm mad about. Here's all I want to know. Whose fucking idea was it? Because I know it wasn't any of you, and I don't believe it was Vessler's.
Oh shit!
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Oh, are we gonna throw the prince under the bus? Ooh.
I mean, it was his idea.
Ooh.
So this is a question of two fronts. One, who do you blame more? The prince, who's, I'm gonna say, was the one that brought the information to Vessler, or Vessler, who signed off on the idea, who knows Darmay a lot better than the prince does.
Huh. Oh, fuck. Is there a big conspiracy? Did the prince send the people away so that they could kill his dad so that he could become the new emperor? I don't know, sheeple. Wake up!
I'm just gonna come out with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's the Bard equivalent of a conspiracy podcast?
A conspiracy song, duh.
Yeah.
I think the two people you need
Let's
to talk
talk
to are
about Building 7.
God, is that wasn't the 9/11 joke?
No, I just came with that plot.
I think the two people you need to talk to are yelling at each other down the hall, with some guards in front of the door.
Wait, they actually thanked us for saving Darmay?
Marin seems confused at your confusion, but it's like, yes, actually, considering everything, very nicely, considering people died in their home. Yes, is the answer.
And you're sure they didn't blame us?
Marin is baffled by this, but she's like, no, they were thankful.
It's almost like these are rational people who blame the people that tried to kill them and not the people who tried to help them.
Yeah. Okay, just for clarification, Marin is not mad that you guys saved Darmay. She's appreciative of that. She just wishes you didn't do it in the first place. Yeah. She wishes you just told Darmay that there was going to be an attack and the party never happened.
No, I get that.
Now, the question, like, Jumper didn't really answer the question because you said they're in the next room. She's asking, like, pretty blankly, was it Vessler's idea or was it somebody else's idea?
Oh, I will just rephrase like, oh, sorry, it's the Prince and Vessler. They're the two yelling at each other. I was being snarky.
Just to clarify, Chris, you said before that it was the Prince's. The Prince brought the information forward, but you're saying it was more of Vessler's idea, or was it a co-idea that the Prince brought forward?
Full scope. The Prince was the one who discovered
the possible plot.
Sorry. The Prince is one of the people in the Empire who is aware of the Shatterers. Him and the Emperor both knew because Marin brought the information to them. Yeah. The Emperor didn't want to tell anyone because he didn't want people panicking over an unknown terrorist threat, which gives a terrorist more power. Yeah. And now he's dead. Somewhere in between this, there were several attacks made on Echelors, which the Shatter Guard were tracking overall. The Prince noticed that somebody went and pulled the building plan for the Ondal estate, and was like, "That's fucking sus." Brought the information to Vessler, and then the Prince proposed the idea of springing a trap, using Darmay as bait, effectively. And you sort of came in the middle of them trying to figure out whether that was right or not.
And mostly the Prince.
But
fuck the rich. I'll out the Prince right now.
Yes, yeah. but the main turmoil I want to get over is that Vessler, who is a much closer person to Darmay, is the one who eventually brought the idea to you.
For sure, he signed off on the idea of using his.
When did the Emperor get assassinated? Like during the whole hubbub? Yeah, right. But like, did he
in the middle of it?
Actually, that's fair. I should give you that information. So during the battle last night, TL attacked.
Yes.
Kasira, Marin, and Les rushed to stop her.
Okay.
They failed to stop her, as Marin noted last night. TL killed the Emperor during the fight.
Okay.
And this is like when you guys were running over. In response, Les casted her Grand Shield, basically to block any other offense, and TL ran away.
Okay.
But did TL get like through like a bunch of guards, or just kind of like sneak in and just kill them?
Oh, sorry, I definitely glossed over that. Sorry. TL killed a lot of people. Died last night at the palace.
I didn't know if it was like a hit, like a
probably
specific,
not hundreds, but definitely dozens.
This is more of a. I don't think this changed anything. Is the Emperor like too old and people to fight, or can he still scrap? Or could he ever scrap? Could he never scrap?
Yeah.
Pure Nepo.
Is he just figurehead?
He could scrap to an extent, but like the same extent like Sahia can scrap. Not like
like
not like Marin. Any of you? Chiron could kill him in a turn.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, okay. So pretty weak.
He can scrap with a normal human being.
Maybe I killed him under TL's disguise. Let me ask you this: is the Prince famous for being also a fighter? Is he famous for going on excursions, being like kind of just like a figure, like just sit there and do nothing, or is he?
So whoever is the Emperor and then the Crown Prince or Princess, or Empress / Emperor, whatever. The two highest ranks in the thing, basically the leader and the next to be, they hold basically honorary titles as like heads of the Shatter Guard. Because Talor, the first Emperor, was the originator of the Shatter Guard. It's mostly a bullshit role. Like they go to parades and do shit. However, they have like what I would say is like a princely level of martial training. Like, they do jousts and fight in tournaments and shit. So like they are capable, but they're not like they're not heroes.
Okay. They're like, how I picture it is they are incredibly strong for a normal person.
Yes.
But nothing to a hero. Like
This is a
Yeah,
world where
yeah.
people have super fucking powers.
This almost
Yeah.
begs the question: if TL could just go through 100 people at a time, does she need the whole
So
confrontation to distract?
There's a lot of heroes in the town.
I
sort
guess.
of a history thing to unpack here, and I don't want to make any more because it's not super important. The Emperor isn't like that important of a job.
Okay.
Like we have the noble court who Vessel represents, who they vote on shit and decide shit. Look at Strainmar, where like the Empire doesn't really get a say in what goes on, like the Kelsier do. It's like it is much more a figurehead position than it was 2 centuries ago, when Talor was the person who assembled an army to go fight the Sky Eater.
Is
founded the
killing him like the equivalent of a message being sent rather than an actual importance then?
That's a good argument to make, and honestly, it probably depends on who you are and how you feel about the Emperor.
Okay.
Gotcha.
To me, that feels like a no one is safe type action.
I will also say, if you were to ask this question, Marin and them would tell you like there was, as far as they know, no beef between TL and the Emperor. TL has been gone for a long time, effectively. I actually don't have an answer for this myself. I don't actually know if she would even have been still in the guild when the current Emperor took power. I don't think so.
TL's also a real piece of shit, so like,
Yeah.
She's just killing people.
Yeah.
That's the thing she does.
All right.
Simply a murderer.
That other guy, thank you for the follow, and Razoricrest gets 100 bits saying Marin passed all her insight checks. It's really good.
So she rolled an insight check during that, which determined how much she felt about y'all's either confusion,
actually?
anger, or Ash's apology, which affected how she responded to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
look
fun.
Wow. Check
to-
out the
to-
DM's
to ba-
own Brad.
To bounce around before I read more shit, because we did mention Troten, I don't want to glance by this.
Yeah.
All this stuff can sort of take place in any spot
Sure.
in the conversation. Marin furrows her brow. Troten Ocelor. The name is familiar. Obviously, it's familiar. Kasira. And the timeless sorceress's eyes alight as she casts some sort of spell and pulls a thought to mind. He came through the academy, marvelous skill, not an ounce of magical potential in his body, much to everyone's surprise considering the family relation. I believed he would have been a grand nephew to Raviome. He completed his time at the academy, passed with good merit all around. It seems he only ever completed 2 missions for the guild before disappearing. He was sent to investigate some reports of spawn presence on the Pavan coast, and never reported in again.
The Pavan Coast.
If Zach wants to pop the map up, it's just one of the provinces of
Yeah.
the Empire.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Just
You don't need to, it's also. I
reference
will
to
say,
lack of magic skill.
That's-
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a
that's-
barbarian.
That's fairly close to Rontmar, right?
yeah, Rontmar is the furthest west dot underneath the Z in Azerval.
Yeah.
I guess not furthest west, you know
I
what I
guess
mean?
it isn't as far close as I thought. Okay.
Yeah. And then Pavan Coast.
close. Kind of close where Ashbot's from.
Yeah.
I'm from Zoldan.
Yeah. And then you mentioned Selfaria. And they have no idea what that. No bells are being rung.
Do you know about a Mr. Subtle?
The man
My-
they call Mystery.
No, I thought he died in that duck accident. My God, he's back!
Not even the Sky Eater could stop him.
So something really noticeable.
How could he? He's so subtle. The Sky Eater couldn't even notice him.
The guys, the big dude, big brute man was not like perfectly aligned with the other people at the party.
There was some discord. Yeah, he was pissed that he had to stop the fight. Like, he got pulled through that
I
flow
think
unwillingly.
he just likes murdering and was sad he didn't get to do more murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could
Could
definitely
be.
bring up that like Safaria made that portal and he was not pleased. Like he wanted to either kill us or die trying, you know?
And then the other thing
He
is
did
you guys
hate
mentioned
heroes, though.
Is that guy a human?
variant human, yes.
Okay.
The Ocelor are all variant humans, like his whole family. Yeah, that's
Did we get his name?
so that's Troten Ocelor, and then Raviome Ocelor was one of the heroes. Although, from what like Kasira just said, their relationship seems relatively distant. Like he's like
Yeah, Raviom
also
was
like if he's a variant human, Raviom presumably has been dead a much longer time than that guy's been alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went up.
Yeah,
north with
Raviom
Parlay
was like
forever.
the guy who had like the star chart stuff and was a mage.
Yeah.
Correct. Raviom and Kasira
And
cast
fucked
the
off
big
to the other
spell.
continent.
Yes.
I have his ring.
Yes. Yeah, so Safaria, they have nothing. The other thing you mentioned is the necklace.
Yes.
To which they are confused about and would like to know more. I now would like to broach the topic of the crystal that was shoved into Darmay. Obviously, if we're accounting everything, you mentioned it. Is someone saying Chiron has it?
I'm not speaking.
Don't
You are-
know
you are-
that
you-
any
you
of
are-
us know that Chiron.
You were all in the room when it fell on the ground and
Yeah.
Chiron picked it up.
Yeah.
I guess you could say presumably some of you might not have noticed. I'm gonna leave that up to a flavor decision for each of you.
Go ahead. I'm just not gonna say anything, but that's up to you guys.
I was very concerned with Big Boy, so I don't think I would have noticed.
I think I noticed.
I'm pretty sure Alistair would have noticed because he said grab it.
I think I would have seen it.
Oh yeah, you did.
Hold
Win,
on.
win, yes or no?
Yes, I did. I'm not gonna bring it up unless Ash does.
I didn't notice it.
I mean, I'll
Or sorry.
look Chiron in the eye and see if Chiron's
Chiron
putting it up,
knows,
and
sorry.
if he's not, then I won't say it. But
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's gonna probably.
Alistair, let's do my man.
Here's the thing. I trust Marin a lot. These other two, like, yes, but not enough to just say anything, you know?
I would trust less with every fiber of my being on my shield.
I would say, for the sake of like just like background, because obviously like we know this, but like this happened before the show. Out of anyone here, you spent the most time with Kasira.
True.
yeah.
Because she
But-
was your teacher for years.
But Marin's the one we've confided in most about.
Yes, no, that's
Okay.
hey, that's totally fine.
Here-
I'm not saying
here-
I'm not
here-
saying you have to be close to Kasira.
Okay, so we actually know Kasira's pretty well known.
Yeah.
She was our teacher, yeah.
So not like in addition to being the headmistress at the academy and like in charge of everything, she also teaches there. Teaches like
Here-
basic magic stuff to everyone, and then also
Here-
like history.
Here's what I'll say. I'll be like, I'll hold out the crystal and go, okay, this weapon used nearly killed Darmay. I'm keeping it because I want to make sure I can find any medical way of solving what might have afflicted her. If you'll allow me, please.
I want you to roll a check. I'm trying to figure out what it would be.
Yeah.
Just roll me a d20.
Is persuasion still a thing?
15.
Persuasion is still a check.
Yeah, but I'm doing something different. I'm not relying on his persuasiveness. I'm relying on a
Thank
connection.
God.
Marin seems apoplectic about this, but Kasira speaks. I will vouch for Dr. Hemlock to hold on to the crystal for now.
Thank you. I will make sure I find anything that might cure her ailment or what might have caused her damage that might have been pretty permanent. I will make it my life goal.
And I will also say that, like, you know, they've already trusted Ash to keep on to the crystals, so, like, it's not that far-fetched at this point. Even if this one's weirder. Now, yeah, any other things we want to particularly talk about or ask any questions before I read more shit?
And maybe this is not even thought of yet, but what's next for us, for the guild? What, do
I
we
mean,
have
we
any
didn't-
leads?
Not to disrupt this, we didn't really technically blame anybody yet. I don't know
So
if we
I'm
ever-
gonna come back to that.
Sorry, not
No,
to-
yeah, that's the next thing on my list.
Okay.
Cool.
So, yes, in referring to the next thing for the guild, officially speaking, we're on fucking hard lockdown. I'm gonna be real with you. I have a lot to think about. We're basically at war. None of you are going anywhere for at least a little while. So, I need to think all of you out. And Marin is speaking to you and to Les and Kasira.
All of you, what?
Out, like leave the office.
Oh,
Oh.
Marin needs some alone time to deal with TL in her head.
And then, sorry, that is like
when-
the absolute last thing that happens in the conversation. We're jumping around here, but I do want to talk about the blame thing really fast because that is the second to last thing that happens in the conversation. Is anyone just flat out saying the prince is the one who brought the ID to Vessler? Does anyone say that?
Okay.
Oh,
so
basically, yes.
The reason I blame Vessler so hard is I legitimately forgot the prince came up with
Right,
it.
no, that's totally fine. Yeah. I'm gonna say, like, honestly, I kind of like that for like you know, heat of the moment shit. So, Marin is like visibly upset. No insight check required. She is annoyed at this fact, and now you wouldn't be able to tell that. She's annoyed at that information, especially considering that earlier she told you that Vessler took all the blame. And then she tells you all to get the fuck out.
Okay. When she tells us to get the fuck out, I would like to look over to Les and ask Les if they need help, any assistance or anything, because they looked pretty bad last night.
Les gets up of their own strength. They still look like crap. Perception check, Jennifer.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I like this actually.
Peaks and Valleys got a nat 20 this time.
Oh,
Great.
okay. I love that.
It's just like a waste of a nat 20, you know?
You know everything about Les's injuries, even down to a hangnail that she has on her left pinky. Like,
so, John, you, TL, and Les, all three of you, all use runic magic to do shit, to cast your spells and the like. Typically speaking, runes in this world are used the same way you inscribed them with Landgrim before, is like you take a magical tool and push magic into an item in the shape of a rune, which then lets you basically tap into it and empower it. That is one way of doing magic, in case you can't call magic of other ways. The strain that you can see that Les has gone through is not from casting a spell off of her runes. She physically pulled that magic and manifested it like how Ash or Wynn cast a spell. And that is presumably why she looks like dog ass.
Would I know of anything I can do to help with that?
Time. She literally just needs to recharge, basically.
Okay.
She cast something way above a spell slot level.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just ask her, does she need a shoulder to lean on type of thing?
As you're walking, I'm gonna say, we're all gonna split up here in a second for little moments, but you two are walking and talking, and Les mentions, "Oh, I used to be able to cast that a lot easier," and that's kind of her throwaway of whatever. As you're all walking out,
do you think you could teach me how to do that? Big old light power shield.
Now,
Cool.
does Junver have natural magic, or does he only have the ability to put magic into runes?
I mean, thus far, only magic in the runes.
Okay,
So you also got your racial magic, right?
Yeah.
Well,
do you consider?
Depends how you want to look at that, and I don't think Junver would understand that.
Right, but when
to Junver, that's not magic.
Okay, cool. No, that's I love that actually. Yeah, that's great. I can work with that. Okay. As you're all leaving, Marin speaks again. Not so fast, not you, Alistair. You and I need to have a chat.
I gotta stay with the principal.